Money, money, money. Money, money, money. We got that fly, need that money. We talk about that money. We all about that money. Money, money, money. Money, money, money. We got that fly, Nubian money. We talk about that money. We all about that money. We love our black skin, our melanin, always focusing in on that money. We always win, money never thin, 'cause we hustling, always focusing in money, 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 money. We got that money, 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 money. We that fly Nubian money. Boss talk only, we stack it up.
Hey, Deb.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, Dr. Felice, you're going to be leading us today.
Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure. Good afternoon, y'all. Oh my gosh. I'm leading today. We're having a pivot, y'all. So forgive me. So it's just me and Deborah, our producer, who are going to be with you today. And we're talking about an exciting topic, maybe, maybe not. But this topic is work from home culture. Is it a career killer for women? And I'm really curious. And I really want everybody in the chat to kind of come in and make this really interactive for us today, because we want to know and hear from you that the work from home culture really took off right around the pandemic, where we were forced for a lot of us to kind of come in. And now we're actually wanting to stay in more and more, if you haven't realized that. But is this culture a killer for women in their careers? Especially for women who are very ambitious, know that they want to elevate their careers and want to be able to go to the next level. Is the work from home culture a career killer for everybody? So I would really, really like to hear from our chat room. I want to hear from you, get your input, because Emma Grede says working from home may be holding women back from moving up in their careers. Is this true? On the surface, flexibility sounds like a win. More control, more balance, less stress. But behind the scene, visibility does drop. Fewer relationships get built, fewer opportunities come your way. And over time, that can impact your income, promotions, and long-term strategic positioning. So the real question is, again, is working from home actually helping women or quietly costing them money and access? So Deb, what's your views on this? Like, how do you see this?
I love the work from home culture. Because I'm a multitasker by nature, I think and believe that it is a great asset for us to have. We're naturally built that way anyway. So I don't believe necessarily that you're not able to climb the ladder if you're working from home. It also depends what industry that you're working in. So you can't just negate that all work from home jobs will not allow you to climb the corporate ladder, because that's just not true. It's not true at all.
So what industry are you in, so that you can give people some, background?
Well, so I'm definitely in the tech industry. I do work though in the office, but I will soon be working from home with my own contracts and things of that nature. And what I like about the flexibility of working from home is if you are a mom, you're able to be at your children's games. You're able to schedule yourself to be a part of your children's lives, as opposed to always having to take off, get permission, leave, come back, and do all those type of things. So it gives you flexibility.
So, okay, so Deborah, we're going to dive into this because you are in the office. Is that what you said? But you're getting ready to transition to work from home, correct? So, do you think that working from the office has contributed to your elevation in your career to where it actually positioned you where they gave you the option to work from home?
Well, me working in the office has allowed me to go back to school to elevate myself to be able to get a degree in cybersecurity. So that you do have to transition. You do. So I'm not saying, you know, I mean, before working from home was a thing, we all were in the office. But now that it is a thing and it's a lucrative thing, I don't see why we shouldn't take advantage of it. And we, should grasp hold of it and make it work for us if we can.
So I agree. And then I don't know. So I think when you're in corporate America, I really do think that you need to be in front of the people, like in person, in order for them to take you seriously. I think that if you are somebody who wants to move up, that you have high ambitions with the company that you want to work for, I don't think working from home is going to get you there if you're not already in that executive C-suite position. But if that is your goal, I think you have to come into the office. I think you have to make a presentation. I think you have to have presence. And I don't think working from remote is going to provide that presence for you if you want to elevate in your career. Now, if you're okay with where you are in your career, I think remote work is great. I think that if you don't necessarily want to move up, you like having that flexibility and being able to have that work-life balance, I think that remote work does work for people. But if you're ambitious, I don't think work from home is going to help you. I really don't.
I beg to differ. It depends on what industry that you're in, though.
Like, what
So
industry do
if
you?
you're in tech, if you're
Mhm.
in tech, a lot of the tech, industry, they are not in the offices. A lot of them work from home, and you are able to climb that corporate ladder while still maintaining your job. Some of them don't even live in the same country.
Mhm.
So there are a lot of advantages of that. And so, again, it's the industry that you're in, and if you're able to still do your job remotely, those are the factors. So you can still climb the corporate ladder and still present, because sometimes we fly in, you meet where you have to meet, and then you go off and you do your assignment. So it's just that simple.
Okay, so I want to hear from the chat. Like, do you believe that working remotely is about access, about who gets seen, who gets considered, who gets paid? Because remote work may feel comfortable, but career growth for a lot has been tied to proximity, relationships, and visibility. Let me hear from the chat. Do you think that you're as visible remotely than from being in the office? Do you feel that you need to be in the room to even be a part of the conversation? And Deborah, is flexibility worth potentially a slower career path?
I don't believe so. I believe that, well, it all has to do with the individual, how aggressive you are, and what your plan is, what your work plan is, what is your career path and career plan for yourself. So it also depends on the individual. If you're aggressive, if you're not aggressive, like you said in the beginning, it could work if that's what you're used to doing and if that's what you want to do. But if it's something that you want more of, or if you want to climb the corporate ladder, you're going to find ways to do it. You're going to find ways to get it done. Technology is an amazing, wonderful beast that we have, and it has all of the things that we need. And with all of the AI apps that we have, oh my gosh, it's such a great world to be in right now. Even if you're a small business owner, you could have a whole team and it would be all AI. That's your team.
Yeah.
Sending out newsletters, sending out, onboarding letters. AI can do all of that for you.
Yeah, so Walter McLeod said it probably has more to do with the individual. Some may thrive with the isolation, while others may thrive with others around. And is that New York cutie forever? Because I'm thinking that's what NY stands for. It says she or he says depends on the position and the industry, and real talk depends on the job that he's working from home right now, and he loves it. That everybody works from home in the company. Okay, so it sounds like for the most part, people in the chat kind of agrees that remote doesn't really hurt a career or you want to elevate your career. So, do you have you seen someone less qualified get ahead just because they were visible? Have you seen that?
I have not experienced it, but I have heard stories about it where, people will say they have, this skill set or that skill set. And when they actually get into the thick of the job, they'll end up not keeping it because they don't have the skill set. And it shows up because they're not able to produce the things that are needed to complete the assignments that they're given. So, yeah, it happens. You're going to have that with a lot of people doing that. And unfortunately, that's the setback for that, because if you were in the office, somebody would be able to see that you couldn't do it. But, they know. They know.
So, why do you think? Because, like, I know where I'm from, we're seeing where more and more companies are requiring people to come back into the office where they're trying to get rid of the remote jobs. And so, what do you think that's about? Why are companies now moving towards people coming back into the office? Because I have a lot of clients now who were able to be, when the pandemic first happened, and even a few years after, they were 100% remote. Then it went to 3 days in, 3 days off. Now it's up to 4 days in the office and 1 day off. Why do you think that's happening? Why do you think companies are going back to you coming into the office?
One, I feel like real estate, like they're paying for these office spaces and they want people in it. They need to justify the cost of, why do we have an office space? Why do we have buildings? It's only but so much you can write off. So maybe that's why they want them to come back into the office. Maybe it's productivity, maybe the numbers are not scaling. And some of them just want to cause people to have stress, I believe, just stressing people out for no reason. If they're doing well at home and working well from home, let them work well from home. Don't put more stress on the people. We already have a lot of things going on in the atmosphere of this world. So let their job be as easy as possible. That's my belief.
So I always have a habit of throwing that mental health twist in there. So honestly, y'all, I get that and have distractions, less excuses to go to the bathroom and meet and talk with your friends at the water fountain or in the cafeteria. But I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. I think that working from home has encouraged people to isolate. I really do. And I think it plays a toll on people's mental health, the intentional isolation. You losing connectivity with people, talking with people. Socialization is a skill that I think a lot of people are slowly and maybe fast losing. Like, we don't connect as much. People are in their heads more than ever before. People are second guessing stuff when they're in the company of other people. And I think it's from because we spend a large part of our days working. So if that part of your day is isolated, how do you reintroduce socialization to people? And I think people are struggling and are more socially awkward than ever before. Am I alone in this or what?
I'm a social butterfly. So,
Mhm.
with that being said, I'm a part of other organizations. I do a lot of community work. Um, so, I'm outside. So, me working from home I have a work life balance. So, if you have that, then you kind of don't feel that way. But when you don't have that, work can be your only social place. And I know people like that. Work is all they have and that's all they do. And but I'm not that person. So I'm a part of church. I'm part of community. I'm part of a lot of Black organizations. So I'm definitely there. But I do see some people have some comments in the chat. So let's see what they have to say. This is so funny.
I'm working right
NY
now.
cutie. Exactly. See?
Yeah.
See?
No, I get
Let's
it.
see.
I love what Walter says. He says he was in DC and the driver was telling us how real estate, restaurants, and retails were feeling the effect of work from home. Absolutely. So think about small business owners who have opened up restaurants, even vendors, street vendors who depend upon people coming into the office, and it drives economy. Like, how do you think that working from home remotely is driving like local economy for small business owners, even corporate? Like, I know I don't like going to. Can you imagine going to New York and nobody was walking on the streets because everybody was home remotely? Like, that would feel so weird, Deborah. Like,
Listen, during the pandemic, I experienced that because I worked at the time for a medical manufacturer and they found a loophole to stay open during the pandemic. And I experienced and took selfies of myself standing in the middle of Times Square, Midtown Manhattan, no traffic, no cars. I experienced walking to work and no one was on the street for the first time ever in my life.
how
And I
that
was like, oh my God, it was the eeriest, weirdest thing that I had ever felt. I could not believe it. I could understand and see how loneliness and mental health issues exasperated during COVID. So I can truly understand and see how that occurred.
No, and can
Yeah.
I just let y'all know? Oh, thank you, Jasmine. Yeah, social skills being underestimated. Yes, it's a skill that needs to be practiced. And did y'all know that we're in a loneliness crisis? That people are more lonely than ever before. How does that happen unless people are not coming out? Deborah, you really are turning into a rarity where you're one of those people who get out. So you already have some kind of social skills and balance. So working remotely doesn't really affect you because you have a balance. But I'm telling you now that most people don't. And it's kind of alarming how people who had social skills before are losing them and they're in their head all the time. Like, it goes like this. People, like, when they do get around people, they're overthinking, what did I just say? Did it matter? Was it weird? Was it too much? Was it too little? Like, for real, like, those are the things that are in their head because they're losing those social skills. And so I don't know. I think there's something going on. And I think that I'm just going to be honest. I think that forcing people to come back into the office is going to be an entry point to reintroduce people back into the real world. I don't know. Any thoughts? I'm looking to you.
I'm going to suggest that people get a lot of sun. Sunbathing helps. I do it all the time. Sun helps. Taking walk in nature and nature helps. Taking your vitamins. Um, Finding groups that you can be a part of helps. Um, you know, Finding family and friends. Don't be a loner. Talk to people. Get outside your shell. There are so many activities, and I know I live in New York, so New York is always nonstop, always has something going on. So, with that being said, you got to find out where your tribe is and check in and do things. Force yourself to do things, new things.
So let me ask you this. Do you believe that ambitious women, men and or women, should prioritize being seen over being comfortable?
No, be comfortable. Be comfortable because it is important. It's important. It's important for your mind and your soul and your spirit. Be comfortable first. Be seen second.
So,
That's my advice.
so do you really think that people? Because I'm not experienced. Like when and I have a lot of people who are working from home, but they are struggling with getting promotions. They are being challenged with getting raises. And I'm thinking that it might be because they're not in front of the change makers, the people who have the power to make sure that they elevate. I don't think I don't I think that ambitious people in power and in leadership, they look differently on remote workers. I really do.
Wow.
I do. I think they see them. I think they view you and have a perception that you like comfort over ambition and leadership. I think there's a stigma.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. And when I think about the productivity part, and I am very productive. So I guess maybe I don't see it that way because I'm not in that lane.
Mhm.
But I guess if someone was lazy or showed, one side of themselves and then started showing another side of themselves of being lazy, then I could see that it would be that way. Double A has a comment here. Let's see. This is for you.
No, God, I don't wish that for us socially capable remote workers. No, I don't wish it for you, double A. I don't. Please check my heart. It is pure towards you. I mean, I work remotely and it's benefited me greatly. Actually, some coworkers work on their mental health. Yes, I agree. But I really do think that there's somewhat of a stigma. Oh, she says, now I definitely believe that. But in the aspect of you don't need as much salary because of it too. Absolutely. I think that there's this perception that comes with working remotely that you don't need gas money, you don't need the parking voucher. Um, you don't have as much overhead, so they can subtract from your salary because you do have that perceived work-life balance. And I really think that there's a possible stigma that comes with you wanting to be home. And the reason why I say that too is because I know that my remote clients, they do push back on their leadership when sometimes they're asked to come into the office. And I think that pushback is what builds the stigma and the perception of people who work from home. And they don't think that you're as ambitious.
Okay, okay, okay.
I do.
There's a lane for everybody in this world. So
All right, so let me ask y'all this. Do you believe that networking is weaker in a remote environment? Let's talk about networking. What do you think about networking?
networking. Networking is a great tool. That's why I was saying you need a tribe. So when I say tribe, you want to have people in your field that can lend to what you're doing. You lend to them. You help each other with ideas. You help each other with productivity if you're struggling in certain areas. So networking is definitely a big yes for me. Definitely.
Can you do networking effectively remotely and virtually?
You can there's networking groups that you can tap into virtually. You come together and you talk about it like a support group.
I've done it. I've
Yeah.
been I've been a part of those networking groups virtually, and I'm just going to be honest. They were fun and they were quick, but I don't think they were effective. I think that I have more interaction and success when I go and meet people in person for a networking event. Like, I think there's something about the in person networking that is just another level. I think it feels, I'm just talking for me, I think it feels really lazy on the virtual level. Like, it doesn't really spring up, well, I really want to connect with you. I can't, I'm just going to be honest. I think networking in person is a whole lot more effective and successful for me than virtually. And I've done both.
And I'm not saying that you don't meet up and have the meetings in person because it does help. It definitely does help. I'm not saying that. Um, and you should take time away from the screens. You shouldn't be screen all the time. Because we are humans first. And so, yes, I would not say that that's constantly all that you do, but you definitely, again, have to have the work life balance. It's very important to do that. It's just, because this is the industry that I chose, it just works for me. It feels good for me. So you have to do what's best for you as well. If it's becoming wear and tear, if it's mentally straining you, and you're not being productive, then you may have to pivot and do something else. But as far as me and my house, this is good for me.
I think I think I like hybrid. Does anybody else like hybrid? I think that's the balance. I think being able to work a couple of days from home and then a couple of days in the office, I think that creates a balance for people. Um, though I'm telling you right now, I hear so much pushback from people going into the office, and I so get it, y'all. I'm even talking for me. I really think that the remote work really is a challenge for people to get back out there. Like I have to force my own self to get out. Like the once I'm out, I'm good. But before remote was a possibility, I had no problems. I never thought about going out and being in front of people and being around people. Like it wasn't a thing. If I had to go, I had to go. Now I have to ask myself, like, do I really want to, because I could throw on my top and keep it moving. Like I'm always in some leggings. You know what I mean? Like always. I got on leggings now. Like it's just the top that I have to talk about. Like I have to think about the shoes I want to wear. Like, do I want to put my hair up? Do I want to put on some eyelashes today? Those kind of things when I know I'm going out versus me staying in. I really do think that remote has a lazy factor that you have to fight. So that's just me. That's just me. I don't know if anybody else struggles with that, and I have to help people like you gotta keep that balance. Real black
Yeah,
like
yeah.
said,
No, I could understand.
he said, I do see it as more of a value for women than most men. What do you think about that? You think work from home has more value for women than men? Thank you for that. What you think, Deb?
Um, I believe because we are multitaskers by nature, that's why it feels good to us. Like we could throw in laundry while we typing up a memo. We could be feeding the children or go over homework on our lunch breaks and get right back into work. Where I believe and feel that men mostly compartmentalize things. So like they like to stay focused on one task at a time. So I could understand where that's coming from with the real black lexicon. I do.
I can see where that's coming from too, but I also think it could work against us too. You know what I mean? Like I think it can also add to our stress levels because everything is so readily available to us. Because really, multitasking is very stressful. So I can see it working for us and against us. But the Real Black Lexicon also said that there's no professional virtual DNA imprinting for remotives. That's interesting. You coming up with some real good stuff. Um, that's interesting. Can you elaborate on that? Like, what do you really mean? Like when he says there's no professional virtual DNA imprinting for promoters. Like, I think that's powerful. What do you think he mean by that?
Well, we came up with this. So, our regular original style of employment was get up, go to work in an office or wherever your field of work was, and then you go back home. So this is something that we've engrafted into, you
Mm,
know.
Yeah.
So this wasn't our original way of doing business or working. So this is like, what do they call it? Hybrid. We're a
Right.
hybrid. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but there's a reason for the topic, and it must have some kind of validity to it, that the work from home culture is not the best for women who want to elevate. That makes sense, Deborah. Deborah probably will lose it if she doesn't multitask. Will
Mama
you lose it?
Walterine, you're right. You're right, Mama Walterine. Oh my gosh.
So you seem to be a type A, Deborah. Would you be considered a type A?
Define a type A for me.
So a type A is somebody who always has to be doing something. Like being productive really is fulfilling for you. Like idleness you don't feel good being idle. So you always have to be putting your hands to something, and everything you do really does come out wonderful. So you're just one of those people that people can call on because you can get things done quickly, efficiently, and you're always thinking about what else you can put your hands to.
You definitely have diagnosed me. Thank you, Dr. Felice. You are wonderful at what you do. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. You got it right. You got
Okay.
it right. You got it
So,
right. And you know what's so funny? I took a personality test,
mhm.
and my A type personality is that also of an entertainer. And it put me in the categories of like people like, oh my gosh, Jamie Foxx,
Mm.
Meryl Streep. It put me in like a whole entertainment category. So I could also be an entertainer too, which I thought that was very funny. I never aspired to be one, but because they're always thinking, what's the next thing to do? What's going to happen next? What do we have to do next? And so, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And
you're
so
right.
you're also a high achiever, right? And so think about even how you're operating on this platform, right? Like production, and what is that like that's going to lead into and is a part of entertainment. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is like foundational things that you're doing that's a part of entertainment. So wow, they probably prophesied over you with
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Ooh, wow.
Exactly. I was actually able to get us a video to look at real quick too. So I'm
Okay.
gonna I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna listen to this video really quickly.
Work from home culture is a career killer for women. And let me explain to you why. What is happening is that we talk about all of this sort of upside of Zoom culture, but none of the rigidity of it. And no one will really tell you. But careers require proximity and visibility. You want a pay rise? You want the next promotion? You want the big corner office? Guess what? You need to be there. You might not want to hear it, because it might be comfortable in your living room, but the facts are the facts.
Especially since COVID, and especially now that we are in a massive cost of living crisis, is the best candidates for the job, the likelihood that they, especially if it's not a particularly high-paying industry, the likelihood that they are going to live within commutable distance
That's
from
the
office,
other big piece to this.
like you miss out on talent. You miss out on somebody. I always think that in industries that I'm like, if you do the maths, you don't pay enough for somebody to live within a radius to get to that
That's a great
workplace.
point.
And I think a lot of us have learnt that it doesn't matter how ambitious you are and it doesn't matter how many hours you spend in an office. We're not all going to be Emma Grede.
Those were good. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. So I agree with both of them to some extent. What about you?
I do too as well, and I think about like what she said. Are you paying enough for travel? You know, that's an expense that you don't have to think of when you work from home. Buying coffee outside, you can budget very well if you work from home. Save some money, invest some money. So those are some of the pros when you do work from home. um, getting
Yep.
out, like you said, the socialization. She also spoke about being in front of people to climb the corporate ladder. But again, like I said, we're listen, we can be right on Zoom and still climb a corporate ladder. It's about being productive, keeping yourself productive, and working on your headspace and where you are.
So this is what I think. I think that if you are going to be remote and move up the ladder, then you have to be visible. And I think it's more than just productivity. I think because I think you can get into a space where they depend on your productivity and they want to keep you there because you're not necessarily visible and you're not productivity doesn't tell to them or scream to them leadership. So I think that visibility and like that lady said, proximity really does count. Think about Deborah, just think about you, right? You are visible. Like you stay in people's spaces where they can say, hey, reach out to you and say, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And that's how you get, because you're visible. But I think that you have to work at that visibility even more if you're remote. That's my point. If you're going to elevate and move up and you've got ambition, I think that you can kind of get pegged and kind of kill your career a little bit if you don't do the extra work it's going to take if you're going to be remote.
So then so you have to play both sides of the fence in that aspect. Yes, you do. You
Right.
do. And again, it depends on what field you're in. It depends on what kind of work you do. Because remote you could be a biller, a medical biller. You could be doing transcribing medically for someone behind the scenes from home. So that may not require for you to be out. But if you're going to be in certain spaces where you're promoting, or if you are in a field where you have to be out in the front of people, then you have to factor in what's best for you. You know, behind the scenes wouldn't definitely work if you're going to be promoting things. So
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
yeah, that's true.
Um,
Let's see. Double A says exactly, Deborah, because I work longer hours being remote. I've heard that too. But some jobs won't let you go over your hours because they don't want to pay overtime. So that's a thing to factor in as well. And I like what the Real Black Lexicon said: managers want bodies to manage, not avatars.
yes. But think about it too. So I'm also going to put a twist. I think that the remote work has actually opened up and have been great for the economy. Like you've been able to get, like that one lady said, more talent in through the door because you might have people in areas where it's really convenient to get this talent and actually have more people working and being able to be a part of and build economy because of remote work. And so it's actually introducing people into careers that they may not have been able to have access to because remote wasn't an option for them. So I think it might also be an entryway for people into their careers.
That's true. We have some final thoughts that I'm going to put up for you to read, okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry, I meant to say stats.
Okay. Okay. I got you. So women are 32% more likely than men to prefer remote work. I would agree with that. Remote workers are less likely to be promoted compared to in office peers. I agree with that too. Employees working remotely full time can earn 10 to 20% less overtime due to slower advancement. Wow. 70% of jobs are filled through networking and relationships. Now that's huge. And we didn't even touch on that relationship building. Absolutely. Women already earn about 82 cents for every dollar earned by men. Okay. So those were good.
Those are
I,
very good.
those were really good. And the relationship building. key. I think that remote work can be a killer for relationship building. I
That's
personally, every
true.
job that I've ever had was because I knew somebody and had built relationship with them. And so I think remote work really kind of stagnates relationship building.
That's true. You can find your significant others too in the
Mm,
workplace. It has happened.
y'all single people, like, yes. Oh my gosh, that's a good way to meet folk by getting out. Absolutely.
That's
Um,
very true. Very, very true. So, it has its pros and cons then.
well, I think this was some great dialogue. I didn't know and didn't think that the work from home culture could be a career killer. But it must be some talk about it, and perception about it. So I really want to thank the people in our chat for contributing and interacting with us on a different level. You really contributed to today's podcast. So thank you. Thumbs up for that. Y'all get the happy fingers. Thank you for being a part with me and Deborah. Um, and most of our people today, they had other things that were going on with them. Life happens, but I really appreciate our tried and true podcast followers. Like, y'all are the best. B1 Nation has some of the best people on the planet. Like, y'all are the most intelligent, most engaging, most fascinating, wonderful audience members. And so I show up every week because of you. Like, I love seeing your comments and your engagement with us. So I just want to say thank you for hanging out with us today. What about you, Deborah?
I thank each and every person that logs in every day. I appreciate them as well. Mama Walterine, The Real Black Lexicon, Double A, Jasmine, um, Booker, 1138.
We
That's how I got here. That's how I got here, from being in the comments every single day.
and
Every
we missed
single day.
anonymous today. I didn't see
We missed
anonymous show
anonymous
up.
today. I know exactly. Oh my goodness, that is so funny. We also have our Black International Women's Month um, fact that I'd like to bring up. And I have a picture of who we're going to be talking about. I will list that, and I'll put her picture up. So if you could just read that for me, and then I'll bring her picture.
Absolutely. So, Black International Women's History Fact: Mia Motley, born October 1st, 1965, is a Barbadian politician and lawyer who has served as the eighth Prime Minister of Barbados since 2018. Wow, great.
Hold on, let's see.
She was a leader of the Barbados Labour Party since 2008. Motley is the first woman to hold both positions. Having overseen the abolition of the Barbadian monarchy, she is the first prime minister of the Barbadian Republic. Wow.
And I'm going to bring up her picture. Let's see. There we go. As Tiara, Miss Black Hollywood always says, I'm on the ones and twos today. And let's see if we can get her picture here. Picture, here we go. Okay, maybe we won't have a picture today. It didn't save.
That's okay. But that was some good data that I didn't know about. And so, happy Black
Yeah,
International Women's Month.
exactly. So
We come for
you
some
can
good
go ahead.
stuff.
Yeah, so I wasn't able to upload her picture, unfortunately, but I'm glad we got the facts in about her.
Double A
About
says
that
if you
sister.
haven't been to Barbados, it's lovely there. Highly recommend going. I have heard that Barbados is wonderful. And that's a stop that I have to make. I heard. Thank you for that.
Yes. So, oh my goodness. So if you could just go ahead and read our outro, we'll be done.
And
Let's see.
if you could share that with me, I will read it.
Let's see. Um, if not, I will grab it. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Our outro for today is flexibility feels good, but access builds wealth. If working from home is costing you visibility, relationships, and opportunity, then it's not just about comfort anymore. It's about strategy. So we thank you all for coming to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money. You can catch us every day, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. And we will see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much and have a great day, everyone. Bye.